Hello my dear friends and welcome to StudyIQ. I am Joycey Joy and today in this lecture we will discuss about the airport privatization plan of the government. So now let us first of all look at the current affair. What is the current affair related to this? The 6 airports that are currently run by the Airports Authority of India are up for bidding. That means the process of privatization is ahead for the 6 airports in India which are currently running under the Airports Authority of India. So this is a move towards privatization of airports. And these 6 airports include airports of Ahmedabad, Jaipur, Lucknow, Guwahati, Trivandrum and Mangalore. So these are the 6 airports that are up for bidding by the Airports Authority of India. So this is the current affair, and based on this, let us see this privatization plan of the government in detail in this lecture. Now, moving on to the bidding plan of the government. So, according to the official order, the last date for the submission of the bids would be 14th of February. So, by 14th of February, the bids have to be submitted by the private companies. And the letter of award, that means the successful bidder would be announced by 28th of February. And the winning bid will be decided on the basis of highest monthly per passenger fee to Airport Authority of India. So, private entities will take part in the bidding process and they can quote the highest money or the highest monthly fee that they would be paying to Airports Authority of India per passenger. So, this will be the basis for deciding the winning bid, and the bidder who provides for the maximum monthly passenger fee to the Airports Authority of India will be the winner in the bid. So, by 28th of February, the letter of award will be issued. Now, let us understand what are the prospects of this airport privatization plan. Firstly, it will help in the redevelopment of the existing airports. That means the 6 airports which are under the plan, there will be a redevelopment. That means private entities will take up these airports and there will be more investment, more infrastructure creation, more gross capital formation, more application of technology and skills. So, this will improve the condition or the status of the existing airports. So, this will lead to redevelopment of the 6 airports which are currently run by the Airports Authority of India. And secondly, this will bring in a huge amount of investments into the airports. This will attract around $1.4 billion of investments according to official data. So, if the 6 airports are privatized, altogether this will account for around $1.4 billion of investment. And according to official estimates, each airport, that means these 6 airports, these airports individually need around 200 million investment. And thirdly, this will account to Airport Authority of India's revenue enhancement. That means we have seen that the bidding will be based on the criteria of highest monthly per passenger fee. So, this passenger fee would be paid to the Airports Authority of India by the successful winner. So, Airports Authority of India would be receiving certain revenue from the private company. So, this will lead to revenue enhancement for the Airports Authority of India. And with this revenue, Airports Authority of India can focus on developing airports and air navigation infrastructure in the rest of the country. So, this money can be utilized efficiently by Airports Authority of India to make investments in other airports or other parts of the country in developing airports and air navigation infrastructure. And next, it will also create world-class infrastructure. So, when private companies take up these airports, they will bring in world-class infrastructure into these airports, making it on par with the global best infrastructure. Now, let us understand who all are the interested entities in making bids to the privatization of these airports. First, let us see the international entities who are interested in making bids. International entities like Zurich, Zangi is Singapore-based airport authority. Next one is AV Alliance's German airports operator. Next one is Global Infrastructure Partners. So GIP, it is US-based financial investor. Next is AMP Capital. This is a Sydney-based investment manager. So these all are the international entities, those who are interested in making investments in this 6 airports which we have mentioned. So now if this international entities makes investment or take up the 6 airports, there is no doubt that there will be a huge amount of investment infrastructure creation, and this will finally lead to raising the level of this airports to international standards. So this is one important prospect of this privatization plan of the government. Now there are also other entities which are India based, that is Indian entities, those who are interested in making investment in these airports. First one is Reliance Infrastructure under Anil Ambani. Second is NIIF. NIIF is National Investment and Infrastructure Fund. Third one is Adani Group. Also GVK and GMR. These are Indian airports operators. They are also interested in making investments in this airports. Now let us understand what is the present status of airport infrastructure in India. So at present, 5 airports in India operate under the PPP model. So what is PPP model? It is public-private partnership model. Under a PPP model, there is a partnership between the private entity and the public, that is government. So here public is government. So government and private entity will be in a partnership agreement, and the operation of a entity will be based on this partnership agreement. So this is PPP model, and currently 5 airports operate under the PPP model in India. They are the airports of Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, Hyderabad and Cochin. So these are the 5 airports that are presently under the PPP model. Now let us understand what are the proposals for the privatization. So first proposal is that the concession period will be 50 years. So in case of the first round of airport privatization, the concession period was only 30 years. Now there is an improvement in the concession period. An additional 20 years has been granted. Totally it will be 50 years. So in case of first phase of privatization, that is for the first 5 airports, the Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, Hyderabad and Cochin, these 5 airports which are already privatized or they run under the PPP model, the concession period is only 30 years. But now in the second phase, the government is planning to extend the concession period for a period of 50 years. Now, second one is the wide range of responsibilities that will be given to the successful bidder under this privatization plan. So, the responsibilities include the operation and management of these airports. It also includes designing, engineering and financing. Also, the private entity can take up the responsibility of construction and development of additional airside, additional terminals, city side and land side infrastructure. So here we will see that a wide range of responsibilities will be assigned to the private entity that will take up this 6 airports. Now, if we analyze the experience so far with the privatization of airports, we have seen that the first phase is already over. In the first phase, 5 airports are privatized. So if we examine the first phase of privatization of the airport sector in India, we will see that it was mostly positive. And now if we look at the second phase, that is the 6 airports which are under the plan of privatization, these 6 airports that are up for the privatization are also profitable in nature. So if we look at the statistics, these 6 airports accounts for more than 10% of compound annual growth rate over the last 4 to 5 years. So it is undoubtful that this 6 airports will also be making profits. If it is privatized, it will lead to increased rates of profit, or annual growth rate will improve for this airport once they are privatized. And the success of privatization to a larger extent will depend on how much freedom the operators get in managing the airports. So it will all depend on the autonomy granted to the operators by the government. For example, whether government will make land available for further expansion, and what is the ease of operations, transparency of data that is available on the current health of this airport. So all these factors will be significantly determining what will be the outcome of this privatization of this airports. Now, if we look at the aviation market in India, it is the fastest growing aviation market in the world. So, with privatization, it should be able to utilize the opportunity or the potential that is posed by the Indian aviation market. So, according to the International Air Transport Association, India is the fastest growing aviation market in the world. And it is also observed that there is a rapid increase or rapid passenger growth in the country. And with this increased passenger growth, the capacity has breached in multiple airports. And privatization is a solution to this. So it has a twofold effect. Firstly, there will be lesser burden on the government. So we have seen that there is a rapid passenger growth and government is responsible to provide facilities to these passengers. So if government needs to provide these facilities, it will require a huge investment for the government. So with this huge investment, the expenditure of the government will increase. So this will have an impact on the fiscal deficit. So fiscal deficit will increase when the expenditure of the government is more than the revenue of the government. So what happens? It will impact the fiscal deficit. It will widen. So when these airports are privatized, in order to meet the increasing demand of the traffic, the burden on the government will come down. The private entities will make the required infrastructural investment in these airports. So firstly, this will ease the burden of the government, and secondly, it will also create a world-class infrastructure. So here we have seen that many entities who are interested in taking up these airports are international entities. And when these international entities or even the well-off Indian entities, when they make investment in these airports, there is no doubt it will create world-class infrastructure. That means there will be better service provision in these airports. So these are the twofold advantages of privatization, taking into consideration the nature of aviation market in India. It is the fastest growing according to International Air Transport Association. You can find the PDF of this lecture on my Facebook page, and for any queries regarding your UPSC preparations, you can get in touch with me on my Facebook page, or you can email me at joyce.studyiq@gmail.com. Thank you.